All right, cool. Let's start. So, hello. Day something, week something. Surprisingly, we're quite busy ourselves doing all kinds of stuff, and didn't really get a chance to record another video. So here we go. This class today, I'm gonna call it Power Yoga class, but we'll see. We'll try to make it accessible to everyone, so not to speed it up too much and starting slowly. So welcome, and this time we're actually filming it outside because the weather is nice enough so far. All right, so let's start with child's pose. So everybody come to their own, might keep the knees out wide, drop the forehead onto the mat, hands in front of you, extended palms down, and then just try to sit back with the hips, so wherever your hips are, just gonna wiggle yourself into a nice comfortable position. Any movement that you need to make, just gently easing into it, and taking 5 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose as well. Last one breath. The next inhale, gently lifting the head up. Spread the fingers out wide and start leaning forward, lifting all the way up, spreading the fingers out and lean forward into your hands. Maybe drop the hips a little bit, lifting the feet up, chest up. And go through that. Exhale, hips back. Inhale up, keeping the elbows straight, lean forward, push the chest forward. Just gently explore your range of motion. So I want you to not to put too much weight into your lower back. So just gently, whatever feels nice, slowly, just beginning to move the spine. So exhale, round the back, sit back. Inhale, pivot forward, onto the knees, feet up. And just twice more. Exhale, inhale, forward, exhale, back, and last one. Inhale, forward, and exhale, find yourself on all fours. So bring the knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders, and just gently warming up the wrist first. So start rotating the fingers, spread out wide, different directions. So palms facing, or fingers facing in, facing towards your knees, to the outside. So whichever way you need to move them, just find yourself putting a little bit more weight on each side every single time you move. So just maybe turn the palms upside down and look at all the beautiful flowers that are stuck to your palms if you're doing it outside. Lean from side to side, and then shaking up the wrist, coming back onto your fours. And again, adjust your position, so make sure your knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders, moving back away. And then from here, just start rotating the belly. So drop the belly down and go to the side. So imagine you're trying to draw the belly, or draw the circle with your belly, as in rounding the back to the sides and coming down. It might take a little bit to kind of familiarize yourself with this movement. I know I already said that, but one of the teachers said, imagine you're in the middle of the Pringles can, and with your belly you're trying to clean up all of the remaining spices in it. What? Some pick your favorite spices and go the other direction. And again, or imagine yourself, okay, I know what works for you. Imagine you're in a peanut butter jar and trying to clean all the remaining peanut butter of the walls of the, that makes sense, right? Okay, so just keep on going. So the belly moving, nice. And then coming back to neutral, tuck your toes, spread the fingers out wide, and just gently start lifting back into downward dog. Now, slowly, slow downward dog, so feel free to bend one knee, bend into the other. Just move whichever way feels nice, whatever, just waking up the body, lengthening those hamstrings, maybe the calf muscles, keeping the shoulders engaged, so push the floor away. I want you to try and push the floor as far as you can, shrug the shoulders towards the ears, and then lower them back down. Shrug the shoulders, drop them back down. So the way it looks from here, you go from pushing the shoulders and then lowering down. Pushing away, lowering down. And I want you to find the middle. So between pushing really hard and for completely depressing them, find the middle ground where you're active, but you're not overly pushing, but at the same time, you're not overly collapsing with the shoulders. So keep them active. Maybe stop any movement in your legs for a couple of breaths. Find a bit of stillness in the pose. The next inhale, look in between your hands. Come up on, bring the feet together and looking in between your hands, deep inhale. And on the exhale, walk all the way to the forward fold to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. And on the next inhale, sweeping the hands all the way up. Palms together, maybe look in between your hands upwards. Exhale, release the shoulders, but keep the hands up. Think about drawing the ribs in. One more inhale, lengthening up. On the exhale, sweep the hands out to the side and forward fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, and stepping back into plank. From here, first chaturanga, you can go straight for chaturanga. Otherwise, drop the knees down and lean forward. Start bending the elbows in close to your body. Lower yourself all the way down. Point the toes. On here, on the inhale, lift the chest up, pull the chest forward, roll the shoulders back. I want you to just kind of familiarize with this pose a little bit. So pulling the chest forward, lengthening through the crown of your head, looking gently forward and down, but I'm pulling my shoulder blades back. So I'm extending rather than collapsing in the lower back. Nice. On the exhale, lower down, tuck your toes, and whichever way you can bring your hips down to your heels, extend the elbows, bring yourself up into downward dog. 2 breaths here. On the next inhale, look in between your hands, feet together, come up on the tippy toes, walk all the way to the front of the mat into forward fold. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And on the inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. On the exhale, straight away, fold down all the way down. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands down, stepping back into plank. Now this time, staying in plank, I want you to shift forward so you come up really on your tippy toes. And if this is chaturanga, is okay, go for chaturanga. Otherwise, you can drop the knees while staying there and then lower down into chaturanga. From here, not all the way down, push yourself back up, point the toes, lower the hips, push the chest forward, maybe lift the knees up. Upward dog. Deep inhale. On the exhale, roll over the toes back into downward dog. Nice. 2 long breaths. So feel free to modify here. If you need to use your knees from now on, I will go into chaturanga, but their option is to drop the knees and do the same thing with the knees down. So when you're ready, one more breath. On the inhale, look in between your hands, come up on your tippy toes, walk the feet all the way to the top into forward fold. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen. Exhale, fold. On the inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. Exhale, release the hands in your heart center, palms together. Now we'll move on with the similar movement, but you can choose, you can keep your feet either hip distance apart, or you can keep the toes touching, heels slightly apart. One more breath. Get ready. On the inhale, sweeping the hands all the way up, look up, palms together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, stepping back into plank. Again, leaning forward, still on the same exhale, lowering down into chaturanga. Point the toes. Inhale, lift the chest up, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Bring the feet together. On the next inhale, right leg rises up. Maybe circle the right ankle a few times. Point the toes, bend the knee, and open up the hip. Just for a couple of breaths. Make sure the left shoulder is not collapsing. Keeping the shoulder squared, reaching up with that right knee. One more breath. And slowly coming back into downward dog. Keeping the feet together, look in between your hands, pivot forward into plank, and there, lower down into chaturanga. Push yourself back up into plank, pivot back into downward dog. On the inhale, left leg rises up, point the toes, maybe circle the left ankle a few times. And then bending the left knee, and again opening up the left hip, reaching up with the left knee. Make sure that, again, the right shoulder is not collapsing, so the rotation is happening through the hip. as much as it can be, and try to keep the shoulders squared. Weight equally distributed between both hands. One more breath. And slowly coming back into downward dog, coming up on the tippy toes, pivot forward into plank, and again, one more chaturanga. Feel free to use your knees. Now push yourself back up, pivot back into downward dog. Look in between your hands, inhale. On the exhale, walk all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And the next inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. Exhale, release the hands in the heart center. Nice. So we're going to start moving, starting introducing a little bit more standing posture. So when you're ready, and again, reset your feet, maybe toes touching, heels slightly apart, maybe feet hip distance apart. And on the inhale, sweeping the hands all the way up, palms touching. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, stepping back into plank. Again, pivot slightly forward, lower down into chaturanga. Point the toes. Inhale, lift the chest up, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. 2 breaths. Bring the feet together. On the next inhale, right leg rises up. 3 breaths in here. Keep on lifting that leg up and try not to collapse with the chest too much. So lift the chest a little bit, looking in between your hands. 1 more breath. And then come up on the tippy toes of the left foot and bring the right knee all the way into the chest. Round the back, create as much space as you can, and then step the right foot in between your hands. Now you might need to use your leg hand to help if you need to. From here, legs really strong, sweeping the hands all the way up into high lunge. So palms facing each other. If it's accessible, you can bring the palms together. And from here, you're on the tippy toes of the left foot, but I want you to now go into warrior 1. So slowly drop the left heel down. So you create kind of that angle with the left foot, 45-degree angle. Drawing the ribs in. 5 breaths in here. So just get familiar with the posture. If it's comfortable, okay, for balance, maybe you're looking up in between or towards your hands, pointing up. Bending more into that right knee. Make sure you press onto the outer edge of the left foot. 1 more breath. And on the exhale, release the hands, coming up on the tippy toes of the left foot again. Hands framing the right foot. Weight into the left hand, right hand reaches up into a twist. Reach up with the right hand. Make sure the hips stay square, so don't drop that left hip. Reaching up. 3 more breaths. If it's okay for your balance, look up towards the sky, towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, release that right hand, framing the right foot. Slowly start bringing the right foot all the way back into plank. Lower down into chaturanga. Use your knees if you need to. Lift up into up dog. Exhale, roll over the toes back into downward dog. 2 long breaths. On the next inhale, left leg rises up, point the toes, and again, make sure your shoulders are active. So what we did, pressing shoulders away, or bring them down. So kind of try to stay in the middle, looking in between your hands gently, just to make sure your chest is not collapsing. 1 more breath, fingers spread out wide. And start coming up on the tippy toes of the right foot and lean forward, left knee to the chest, pivot forward, and then stepping that left foot in between your hands. Make sure you have a firm, strong standing position, sweeping the hands all the way up. Maybe if it's accessible, palms together, otherwise keep the hands apart, palms facing each other. Once you find your balance, drop the right heel down, pivot, open the right hip a little bit, but try to square the shoulders to the front. So again, feel free to kind of move around a little bit forward and back, just finding your balance. Some weight in the outer edge of the right foot. Left knee is bent and left knee is tracing where the toes are pointing. 2 more breaths. And again, if balance is okay, you can look upwards. And on the exhale, framing the front foot, coming down on the tippy toes of the right foot. weight into the right hand, left hand reaches up into a twist, and again keeping the hip squared, so try to not drop the right hip. Looking up if balance allows, pushing through the right hand, so the palm is firmly on the floor on the mat, shoulder is away from the ear as much as you can, lifting up through that left hand upwards. One more breath. On the exhale, framing the front foot, and again make sure your hands are nice and comfortably in that plank position. Slowly bring the left foot all the way back, and from there again on the tippy toes, lowering down all the way into Chaturanga, pointing the toes. Inhale up, upward dog, and exhale, roll over the toes back into downward dog. 2 long breaths. The next inhale, look in between your hands, come up on the tippy toes, and maybe 1 or 2 steps all the way to the top of the mat into forward fold. Inhale, half lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. And on the exhale, hands into heart center. And again, this time I'm going to come down into chair, so keep your toes touching, heels slightly apart, or again, whichever variation you prefer. 1 more breath. On the inhale, sweep the hands up first. On the exhale, kind of forward fold a little bit, bring the hands all the way down, so lower the hips, weight is in your heels, so bum down. The reason we bring the hands down, just to make sure we're going to our maximum squatting position, if you wish, maximum chair, and then sweep the hands back up. 2 breaths. Make sure your weight is in your heels, lifting the chest up. And on next exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, stepping back into Chaturanga straight away, lowering down. Point the toes, inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, roll over the toes back into downward dog. Inhale, right leg rises up. Exhale, right knee into the chest, on the tippy toes, step through to the top. Pivot the left heel down, and using the left hand, sweep the left hand all the way up into a warrior 2 on the right side. So again, adjust this pose, the first pose, or the first time we're doing this here. So bend the right knee, look back, make sure the back foot is parallel to the edge of the mat. Extending the hands, palms facing down. Reach away with your hands, so fingers are really engaged as if you're reaching for something with both hands. Bend into that right knee, and check your line, make sure the knee is pointing the same way where the toes are. Engage your glutes, so feel your glutes squeezing together. Relax the shoulders from your ears. 2 more breaths. Maybe gaze back to see where your back hand is. Draw the ribs in. 1 last breath. And then releasing the left hand onto the left leg, turn the right palm up and reverse the warrior. Try not to move the leg, so just the upper body is moving. Make sure that right knee remains bent, reaching back, remaining light on that left hand, just resting on the left leg. 2 more breaths. And then reversing back into warrior 2, and straight away right elbow bends onto the right hand, right knee, left hand up above your left ear, reaching forward, palm down, lengthening the left side of the body. 2 more breaths. And then from there on the inhale, sweeping back into warrior 2, extending the right knee, straightening up both knees. Imagine you're in between 2 walls. Reach forward with the right hand as much as you can. Turn the right palm up, and then reverse back with knees straight. Right hand reaches back, left one on the left leg. And then the inhale, coming back and reaching forward again with the right hand, left hip reaching back. Release the right hand down, and left hand reaches up into triangle pose. Make sure both knees are straight, lengthening through the left side of the body. If balance allows, looking up. Stay for 2 more breaths. And on the next inhale, coming back up, extending the hands out, bend into the right knee, back into warrior 2, and then cartwheel the hands down, framing the front foot, tippy toes on the left foot, stepping back into plank. Slowly lower down into Chaturanga. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, lower down or bring back up into downward dog. 2 long breaths here. The next inhale, look in between your hands. On the exhale, step all the way to the top of the mat into forward fold. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Keep the hands down next to your feet. Bend the knees, and on the inhale again, sweep your hands all the way back up into chair. Exhale, hands in front of your heart center. And the next inhale, dig in, or put weight into your heels and stand up all the way down, up. Release the hands. On the next inhale, bring the hands all the way up. On the exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, sit back into chair. And on the inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. Keeping the weight into your heels, lifting the chest up. One more breath. And on the exhale, forward fold all the way. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands down, stepping back into plank. And again, use your knees or chaturanga. Pointing the toes, inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, over the toes, back into downward dog. Inhale, left leg rises up. Exhale, left knee steps, ping the left foot in between your hands. And then pivoting the right foot down this time. So the right heel pivots down. With the right hand, sweep the hands all the way back up into warrior two on the left side. And again, adjust your position. So first of all, check where your feet are. Make sure you're strong with your legs. Weight in the outer edge of the right foot. Left knee is over the left ankle, pointing the same way with the toes. And again, relax the shoulders, reaching away with your fingertips, fingers spread out wide, hands active. Shoulders are away from your ears, ribs in. Check your hand behind you. And looking forward through the middle finger of the left hand. Again, engage your glutes, so make sure they're strong and active. One more breath. And then turn the left palm up, reverse the warrior, right hand goes down, but remain light on that right hand. Reaching back, feel the lengthening of the left side of your body. One more breath. Inhale, back to the center. Left elbow comes down into the left knee. Right hand up above your ear, reaching forward, up. And again, lengthening of the right side of the body. Right palm is facing down. Two more breaths. And the inhale, coming back into warrior two, extending the left knee as well. And then reaching forward with the left hand, then releasing the right hand back down and sweeping the left hand all the way back up, reversing this triangle pose with the left hand back. Both knees are straight. And the inhale, coming back, extending the hands, and this time left hand lowers down towards the left knee, right hand reaches up into a triangle pose. So again, imagine you're in between two buildings, so really trying to stay narrow, so try not to rotate the shoulder, stay in this position, and only lower down a little bit more if you feel comfortable without dropping the right shoulder. 3 more breaths. Again, if your balance allows, maybe looking upwards. And the next inhale, coming all the way back up, bending into that left knee into warrior two. Deep inhale. On the exhale, cartwheel the hands, framing the front foot, stepping back into plank. And from here again, lowering down into chaturanga, pointing the toes. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, roll over the toes back into downward dog. 4 breaths in down dog. So keeping the fingers spread out wide, make sure there's some weight in your knuckles, so you're not just collapsing all the way into your wrists. So that might mean that you need to shift the weight a little bit more into your knuckles. And from there, shorten your dog a little bit. So step the feet a little bit closer. Looking between your hands, pivot forward slowly, just engaging your fingertips, because we're going to do a few hops. So I want you to make sure you use your fingers as brakes. So lean forward and back, lean forward and back. A few more times. And then when you come over to the point where your shoulders are over your wrists, pick the leg that you're going to jump, and you're going to do jumps, even if it's a small jump. So you're going to do 3 on each side. So keeping the right leg straight, I'm gonna go for 1, 2, 3. No matter how high you jump, and swapping the legs, even if it's a small jump, 3 on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, and coming down back into downward dog. Feet together, 2 long breaths. And the next inhale, look in between your hands and step all the way into forward fold. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And on the next inhale, start dropping the hips down, sweeping the hands all the way back into chair. 2 long breaths. Take your time. On the next exhale, bring the hands into heart center, press the palms together. Deep inhale, lengthen. On the exhale, right elbow goes onto the left knee. Press into the palms, twist. 1 more breath. And then looking down, weight into the left foot, step the right foot all the way back into a twist. Remain in the twist, adjust if needed. High lunge. And on the inhale, left hand reaches up. And imagine somebody's lifting you by that left hand, lifting all the way up into a twist. Right hand in front of you, left hand behind you. Try to square the hips, so try not to drop the hips down. 1 more breath. On the inhale, bring the hands all the way up, facing forward. Exhale, right hand forward, left one back. Okay, so you're gonna move through this sequence. So inhale, hands go up. On the exhale, right hand forward, left one back, and the knee also lowers down. Touch the floor. Inhale, back up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up. One last time. Exhale, lower down. Stay there. Bring both hands in front of you, palms facing each other. Sit back onto the right heel, extending the left foot forward. Knee straight. Left toes flexed. And from here, we're going to go for 5 pulses forward with the hands. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold it there at the back for 2 breaths. Now on the next inhale, coming up onto the left foot, lean forward, hands back, bend the elbows, so elbows are shoulder height. Bring the shoulder blades together, push the chest forward. 2 breaths here, so shoulder blades together. Deep inhale. And on the exhale, we're gonna sit back to where we came from. Lower the right knee, sitting back, extending the hands forward, palms facing each other. So we're gonna move through this 4 more times. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sitting back down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, down. Last one. Inhale all the way up. Stay there. Inhale, right hands rising up, palms facing each other. Exhale, right hand forward, left one back. And from there, bring the hands into heart center, palms together, right elbow onto the left knee, press the palms together back into the twist. 2 breaths. Now look down towards the left foot and gently right foot comes to meet, back into chair. Inhale, back into chair, palms spread or pressing against each other. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift up, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands down, stepping back into plank, lowering down into chaturanga. Point the toes, inhale, lift up into up dog. Exhale, lower back into downward dog. 2 breaths. From here, there's an option on the inhale, look in between your hands, step or hop all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift up. Exhale, bend the knees, sitting back into chair, sweeping the hands back up into chair. On the exhale, hands into heart center. I'm gonna go for the other side. So deep inhale, and the exhale, left elbow onto the right knee, pressing into the palms, turning to the side. Coming back to your breath. Weight still in your heels, not in your toes. And prepare yourself looking down towards your feet, stepping the left foot all the way back to high lunge. And again, adjust the balance. Make sure you're still pressing the left elbow into the right knee, palms together, and then extending the right hand all the way up and leading with that right hand, pivot back up into the twisted lunge. So right hand is behind you, left hand in front of you. Still staying on the tippy toes of the right foot. The ant is biting my foot. It's okay, that's what you get in nature. Inhale, bring the hands all the way up, square the chest. Find your balance. Deep inhale. Exhale, left hand forward, right one back. Nice. And I'm gonna go inhale, hands up. On the exhale, left hand forward, right one back. Drop the knee down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Work with your breath as slow as you can. Inhale up. Exhale, lower down. Just touch off the mat. Inhale, back up. Exhale down. And one more time. Inhale up. Exhale, come all the way down. Nice. Sit back onto that left knee. Sitting back onto the left heel. Lowering down. Flex the toes of the right foot. Right knees engaged. Quad is nice and strong, so lifting up that right kneecap. And I'm going to go for 5 pulses forward. So you're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay at the furthest point for 2 breaths. Lower those shoulders away from your ears. Nice, and then slowly start pivoting forward, bringing the hands up, coming up into high lunge. Again, shoulders or elbows are shoulder height, bringing the shoulder blades together. Try to keep the ribs in even though you're pushing the chest a little bit forward. So this is the starting position. Deep inhale, and on the exhale start sitting back, extending the hands forward. So inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sitting back and hands forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward. Last one. Inhale all the way up. Staying there. Bring the hands all the way up. Palms facing each other. Deep inhale. Exhale, left hand forward. Right one back. Twist. Find your balance and bring the hands into heart center. Press the palms together. Left elbow onto the right knee. Press into the palms, into the twist. Find your balance. Looking down onto the left foot and slowly bring the right foot, left foot close into a chair. Bring both hands in front of the heart center. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift up. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, and if you're comfortable, maybe hop straight into Chaturanga. So try to not lift the feet too high if you're doing that. So lower down. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, roll over the toes back into downward dog. 2 long breaths. Bringing the feet together. On the next inhale, lift the right leg all the way up as high as you can. Keep that right leg engaged, knees straight, hips squared for now. Make sure there's still weight in between or in your hands, in your knuckles. Bend the right knee and open that right hip. Now come up on the tippy toes of your left foot and drop the left heel out to the left. So your foot is kind of on the outer edge of your left foot, and start slowly maybe dropping that right foot behind you until you come up into this position, which is fallen angel. Huh? Wild thing. Yeah, wild thing. You're on the left hand, right hand behind you. Pushing the shoulder away from your ear. And then slowly bringing the right hand back down, pivoting back into a 3-legged or one-legged plank if you wish. And from here, it's optional. You can do Chaturanga with one leg elevated. Inhale, bring yourself back up. Bring that right foot down and lowering the hips into upward dog. Push the chest forward and rolling over the toes back into down dog. 2 breaths here. Bringing the feet together. On the next inhale, bring the left leg up. Remember to try to keep the belly sucked in here, so don't let the belly drop and arch the back. So the belly is actively sucking in. Or if it makes more sense, Uddiyana Bandha and Mula Bandha are engaged, so lifting your pelvic floor up. And then start opening up the hip, bending the left knee. Keeping the shoulder still squared as much as you can. And then coming up onto the tippy toes of the right foot and pivoting down to the outer edge of the right foot and slowly shifting the left foot behind you, coming back into the wild thing on the other side, landing on the tippy toes of the left foot, right hand strongly on the floor, left hand reaching backwards, lifting the hips up, maybe looking towards your left hand, maybe tickle your partner, hello, and then slowly coming back into one-legged plank, slowly lowering down into chaturanga. Push yourself back up, lower the feet down, hips down, chest forward into upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. 2 long breaths. Bring your feet together. Look in between your hands, engage your fingers as brakes. Bend the knees and hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway up, lift up. Exhale, fold. On the inhale, sweeping the hands all the way up. On the exhale, bring the hands into heart center. Close your eyes for 2 breaths. Just reset your breathing. I'll check the timing. Good. And from there, releasing your hands down. When you're ready, shifting the weight into your right foot first and bringing the left knee up. Use your hands maybe to draw it even higher. A few circles with that left knee. And then release the hands, keeping the hands by your side, palms facing forward. Start bringing that left foot behind you, pivot forward into warrior 3. So again, the aim of this is to keep the chest parallel to the floor, same way as the left leg is parallel to the floor. It's more of a feeling unless you have a mirror and you can look at it without falling. Otherwise, just think about lowering the chest a bit more and maybe elevating that left leg a little bit. And make sure the left knee is straight so the left leg is strong. 2 more breaths. And now releasing the right hand down. This is optional. If you need a block, use the block. Otherwise, left hand down or right hand down, left hand reaches up and rotate the left foot towards the left side or left wall, wherever you are. If that's not accessible for you, you can bend into the right knee a little bit maybe. Maybe come a little bit, or even use the block or the book for the right hand. Wherever you are, 1 more breath. And then releasing the left hand down, squaring the hips, lowering the chest, lifting the left leg up, standing split. If it's accessible, you can use your right hand onto your right leg and pull the chest closer while lifting the left leg up. 3 breaths in here. And then slowly start bending the left knee and bringing that left knee into the chest and pivot back into standing with the left knee up. Circle that left ankle. 2 more breaths here. Keep on lifting that left knee high. Ooh. You make me wobbly. And then slowly release the left foot down. Shake off.
Uneven ground.
Yeah, okay. Shake off the right leg. Yeah, of course on the grass it's a bit trickier, but it's also more challenging. You learn different things. It's not so easy just to stand on the firm surface. Okay, so from there, shifting the weight into the left foot, bringing the right knee up. And again, if you bring it up a bit higher and see if you can release the hands, but keep the foot or the knee there. A few circles with the right ankle. Ooh. And then palms facing forward by your side. And then slowly, with control, pivot through your hips, so bringing the right foot behind you. And again, take your time here, so as slow as you can. The slower you can do, the more control you have, and the easier it will be to balance. And if you're there, even if you're perfectly capable of doing this pose, just try to think about each area of the body where it doesn't need to be engaged. So maybe you can relax your shoulders a little bit. Maybe you can relax your forehead, your jaw. Otherwise, try to lower the chest, lifting the right leg up, keeping the right knee straight. Either point or flex the toes of the right foot. It's optional, whichever way works for you. And then very slowly, left hand lowers down. And again, from here you'll have to work wherever you are. Maybe use the block, the book. Right hand reaches up, opening up the chest to the side. Ooh, left side is not so good for me. And then turn, rotate the right foot outwards, so outward rotation of the hip, so the right toes are facing the wall or to the outside. If you need to micro bend the left knee, do so. Otherwise, rotating the chest to the same side where the right toes are pointing. Flex the toes in this one, it'll be easier to keep the right leg strong. One more breath. And slowly release the right hand down and lowering the chest, lifting the right leg up. Maybe use your left hand to pull your chest closer to the left leg. 3 more breaths. And then slowly start bending the right knee and pivoting back into standing on the left foot and the left leg. Maybe a few circles with that right ankle. Bring the right knee a bit higher and slowly drop it back down. Left leg, shake off the left leg, shake off both legs, and from there keep the feet hip distance apart and slowly pivot forward onto your hips and back onto your hips, onto your heels and toes. So tips of the toes back into the heels. And just a few times forward, back, forward, back. Now involve your hands. So when you come forward, bring the hands up and down. Forward, hands up and hands down. And next time you come forward, keep the hands forward in front of you, palms facing each other. Stabilize and start lowering down, sitting back, so as high as you can on your tippy toes, lowering down slowly. Hold there. Halfway there, I would hope everybody is. If not, go to wherever halfway is. Stay there for 2 more breaths and then start lowering down a bit more until all the way sitting down onto your heels. And from here, dropping the knees down. If you've been to my classes, we know I like to really do this quite a bit. So you're staying on your tippy toes and knees down, and this will depend on your mobility. So whether you can go down all the way here, or maybe for you it will be more like here. Doesn't matter where you are, I want you to be shifting from your tippy toes, from the balls of your feet, all the way onto your heels and back onto the feet. And ideally, the aim of this is to do that without hands and with control, without dropping the knees down. On the floor here, on the grass here, it's easy, but on the hard surface, you will feel it if you bang it hard on the knees. So super slowly, I'll demo how it is meant to be, what's the aim that you're trying. So lean back, come up, another good demo, onto the heels, and slowly back all the way onto the knees. Now, if you're super mobile and you want to try it, you can come down all the way, sit on your bum, and then use the momentum that I can't now, this way. Oh goodness. Okay, and back forward. Okay, so this might be accessible, might not. If you want to play around with this, let's try introduce the rolling back onto the back. So when you come up onto the heels, around the back, roll back, use the momentum, slowly back down. Oh, this is nice. This is the first time I've incorporated those two. You like it? Good. Onto the knees, back onto the heels. Even if you come up here, lower down, roll back all the way to the top and back onto the knees. Nice. One last time. Yeah, good. Leaning back onto the heels, rolling back into the front, onto the heels, and this last time, find your way sitting on your bum. So wherever you are, find that comfortable position between your kind of sitting bones and your tailbone. Opening up the chest, bring the feet up. Like this is optional. You can keep the feet on the floor if it's a bit too hard. Keeping the hands in front of you, palms facing up. And pull your chest towards your knees as well as pulling the knees towards the chest. So try to close in this gap as much as you can. And imagine your belly is reaching for your thighs as well. Yes. Challenging-ish. 2 more breaths. Extend the right leg out, keep the left knee in, swapping the legs in and only then out. Working with your breath. Swapping the legs, so left out, Bring it in, right out. Bring it up, left out. Bring it in, right out. Bring it in, hold it there. 2 more breaths. And then bring the hands behind your back, and keeping the legs where they are, slowly roll the upper body down, all the way down. So keep the legs elevated. Now bring the right knee in, extend the left leg out. Keep the left leg elevated if you can, otherwise you can drop it down, but try to keep it elevated. And with the left elbow, reach for the right knee twist. And then swapping the leg. So bicycle finger. From one side to the other. Do it slow, with control. Keep the shoulders elevated throughout the whole movement. Make sure the core is engaged throughout. And try to keep the head heavy, so the neck is not working, the hands are holding up the neck, just the core. I'm gonna go for 5 more on each side. Remember to breathe. So 2 more on each side. Nice. And then bring the legs all the way up, knees straight. Reach forwards towards your toes with your hands. Make sure the knees are straight, the toes are flexed. You're gonna go for 10 pulses towards your toes. So you're gonna go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bend the knees into the chest, lower the head down, and gently make circles with your knees. Keeping the right knee bent into the chest, extend the left leg out. And then dropping, keeping the left hand onto the right knee. Right hand extends out by the side. Right knee crosses the body over to your left. You look over to your right. And try and relax into the pose. Gonna stay here. A couple more breaths. And again, try to breathe into your belly. Ignore the bees flying around your face. So breathe into the belly. Feel it expand, but at the same time, start looking for a bit of relaxation in the body. So see if you can relax your neck, your shoulders, forehead, facial muscles. And just feel that lengthening and twisting of the spine. Think about the right shoulder is staying on the floor or on the mat. It doesn't matter how far your knee goes. And then think about that distance between the right hip and the right shoulder. This is the part that's lengthening, so the right hip is moving away from the right shoulder. 2 more breaths. And then slowly bringing the right knee back into the chest. Circle the ankle a few times. And then swapping the legs. So the left knee bends in, right leg extends out. And again, using the right hand onto the left knee, looking over to your left. Drop the left hand out to the side for balance. And then twisting onto the other side. Again, take it slowly. I would suggest maybe keeping the left elbow or left shoulder on the mat. More important than bringing that left knee further down to the floor. And again, breathing into the belly. Think about the left hip, left side of the hip moving away from the left shoulder. Deep, long breaths. Letting the body relax. Spine lengthen and twist. Two more breaths. And the next inhale, slowly bringing the knee into the chest. And a few circles with that left ankle. And then bringing both knees into the chest and gently rocking from side to side. And then flexing the toes, bring the feet up as if they're standing on the ceiling or on the clouds or on the bottom of the tree here. Widen the knees out, bring the hands in front of you, on between your legs, palms facing up, and then grabbing your legs wherever you can and just gently rocking from side to side. If it's accessible, feel free to take your big toes with your index or with your peace fingers and then use that whichever way works for you. Even if you want to start straightening the left knee, the right knee, maybe both knees out if your hips are really open and your hamstrings are warmed up. Just move around whatever feels nice, bending and straightening the knees, trying to keep the head and the shoulders on the floor, on the mat, and then very gently releasing the feet back into your Savasana. So your own variation. You can keep the knees bent and maybe feet together if that works for you. Otherwise, just extending the legs out, let the feet flop to the side, palms by your side, facing up, fingers slightly curled, and start closing your eyes. I want you to take 3 deep breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. With every exhalation, feel the body relaxing. Inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. And one more time, inhale through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. And just start scanning the body from the top of your head, relaxing any tension from the forehead, maybe around your eyes, and your facial muscles, your jaw, your shoulders, your upper arms, your lower arms, your hands, your fingers, around your chest, your back, around your core and hips, the quads, the hamstrings, calf muscles, shins, ankles, your feet, your toes. Just take this opportunity to observe how the body feels, and checking those areas where you might have a little bit of tension, and see if you can let it go with every exhalation. If you're doing this on the grass outside, see if you can feel the floor underneath you, or the grass, whatever is underneath. Those areas that are exposed directly to the mat would be the back of your hands, back of your legs, the back of your head. Just to feel that surface, the connection, the contact with it. And feel how you exhale each time. Your body sinks in a bit deeper. For the next couple of moments, just let it all go. Don't need to observe, don't need to monitor anything. Just let your mind wander wherever it wants to go. And then bringing the attention back to the body, back to the breath. Just taking control back of your breath. Start deepening the inhalations and deepening the exhalations. And introducing a little bit of movement into your fingers and your toes. While still deepening the breath. Maybe start moving the ankles and the wrists, slightly bigger movements. Maybe moving the head from left to right. Just being aware of the space above your head. Maybe on the next inhale, bring the hands all the way up above your head. Give yourself a nice big stretch. Deep inhale. And on the exhale, hugging the knees into the chest. Just gently rocking from side to side. Till you find yourself rocking onto the right side of your body. Knees in the chest, right hand under your head as a pillow. And using your left hand in your own time, slowly coming up into a comfortable seated position. Keeping your eyes closed or the gaze down. Once you're seated comfortably, you're going to take 3 long breaths together, inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling it all out through the mouth. So when you're ready, inhale through the nose, exhale out. Inhale. And one last time. Dropping the chin to the chest. And just gently blink your eyes open, maybe lift the head up. And thanks for participating in the class. Hey birdie. We got a bird here wandering into the class, so thanks very much for those who practiced. Hope you enjoy the class, and yeah, look after yourselves, and I will be doing more classes maybe soon. Okay, bye. Nah, where's the bye? No. Bye. Bye.
You lost the power.
Yeah, no power. Maybe the battery died.
Just got the power.
No, apparently